Lord.
Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show. Your camera's insanely crooked too. Good
Oh my
Lord.
God!
I only had 8,000 things to do this morning,
Our
sir.
pets' heads are falling off. Come on, Pickle.
Sir, don't even.
Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show. I got a haircut, and she styled it differently, and it's like, I just need to go back and do my own style. Just like, I don't know. I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's not my hair.
It's not.
Anyway, welcome on to the pre-show before the free show. But Celia did a great job. I love her to death. She's wonderful. Anyway, Pickle, it's a big week. It's a massive week. You know why?
It is Thanksgiving
It's
week.
Thanksgiving week. And so I think it's important for us to take a moment here and talk a little bit about prep. And there's a lot of things you need to prep. Obviously, I think you're thinking, oh, we got to go out and make sure you get all your groceries and get your turkey and things like that. And that's all important. And I need you to do that. But what I also need you to do is you need to prepare your temple. Okay? You need to prepare your body for Thanksgiving. It's a big day. It's a big day for everybody. Big day for America. Big day for freedom. Big day for unity. And you need to be on your best. You need to be on your best game. And here's what I think here's what has worked for me in the past for Thanksgiving, and I wonder if it'll work for you guys as well. Number one, these next 3 days are critical. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You know how I feel about what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. You should consider a salad. I know. I'm against eating rabbit food as well, but we have to be prepared to perform on the big day, right? So I would say let's eat light these next couple of days, okay? I'm not saying go crazy, okay? You can eat what you need to. But consider a salad, right? Let's not eat any big meals. Nothing big, okay? We're talking little meals over the course of the next week, okay? Until we get to the big day. So take care of yourself. I have also found, your mileage may vary, I've also found a little exercise. Goes a long way. Gets the blood flowing. Get your body ready for the biggest day of the year, okay? Make sure you're ready. I would also, just something that I would recommend, hydrate, okay? We're going to hydrate a lot because what happens is all the food that we've got on Thanksgiving, and perhaps you may enjoy a beverage or two on Thanksgiving as well. It's going to dry you out, right? A lot of carbs, a lot of booze, plain and simple. So let's hydrate. Let's make sure we're hydrating here and getting our body right. We're getting our temple in line with what we need to perform on the biggest day of the year. And finally, and this is the most important thing, if you haven't already, you need to put your big inflatable turkey in your front yard.
Has y'all's turkey farm grown out there on your cul-de-sac?
No, we've still got just the two.
Okay.
We've got our turkey and Dave's turkey.
That's like improvement, at least from last year, because it was just yours.
Just ours. And
so
Dave,
I mean, one a year will eventually start to add up.
I think there's only 8 houses on our cul-de-sac.
Yeah, so there you go.
So if we get, like next year, if we get 3, then we're almost halfway there.
Yeah, legitimately.
Right? That's big. So if you have not already, please put out your inflatable turkey. It lets Thanksgiving Jesus know that you're home and that you're ready to party. Am I forgetting anything else? Did I forget anything else as far as prep is concerned? Prepping your body, prepping your. I found meditation to be helpful
for Turkey Day.
Yeah, just to get your mind right. Like, there's.
See here, okay, but here's the thing: we should have had this conversation last week. I didn't hear everything you said. I was trying to get phone numbers out to our good buddy Pimo. But anyway, the thing that you should have done if you didn't do it, and this is just where you can recognize that you messed up, is this weekend was clutch for getting your stuff in order. Because I feel like the worst thing you can do for your temple, as you called it, is to be stressed out. And so if you, for instance, I made sure, I got house cleaning done this weekend. You get grocery prep of the stuff that if you haven't already gotten it, because some of the stuff, for dressing per se, some people put carrots and celery. You probably don't want to get that 4 or 5 days early. So you should have had your grocery list done and your house cleaned. And I feel like if you did that this weekend, you're where you need to be, because there will always be the stress of day of.
Yes.
But the pre-stress will not be there.
Right. That's important. Don't let it build on top of itself.
And if you didn't do that this weekend, get it done today. Yes. You want Tuesday, Wednesday to be I have everything. Now we're excited and we're waiting. You can't be stressing. If you're stressing tomorrow, it's too late.
You're already playing from behind.
Throw it away.
You're already down 14-0 at that point, right? Okay. Guys, we want everybody to have a great Thanksgiving.
That's the main goal here.
Make sure you're preparing your body and your mind for the most important day of the year. Hit the theme, Expo. Pickle! Hit the Eric sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Louisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live on texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, or listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Ashley Pickle. Hello, Ashley Pickle.
Howdy, team. Happy Thanksgiving week.
You doing all right?
I am. I feel like I got to sneeze, but other than that.
Do you have to sneeze? We go live to Ashley Pickle for a sneeze.
I'm good now, but I'm not turning it on myself to sneeze.
Today is Monday, November 22nd, 2021. We are 3 days from Thanksgiving.
This is clutch.
3 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Steven Van Zandt. Do you know who Steven Van Zandt is?
I don't.
Steven Van Zandt. Some people may know him. He is a musician he plays guitar and mandolin in the E Street Band, which is Bruce Springsteen's band. I don't care about that. You know who Steven Van Zandt is?
Who?
He played Silvio Dante on The Sopranos.
Ah, there you go.
Sil! Yeah, happy 71st birthday to Steven Van Zandt, a legend. This is episode 1287. On today's show, guys, big show. I'm going to go in reverse order, okay?
Okay.
Back half of the show, we're going to reveal the cover of the 2021 recruiting edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising. We've sent it to press on Friday. We're going to show you the cover, who's on it, and what we did with it. We're excited to show you. That's coming up here at the back half of the show. Before that, we're going to be talking with the head coach of the area regional semifinal bound, the area champion, Dublin Lions. Coach Greg Hardcastle will join us. Dublin is in the third round of the playoffs for the first time ever. How old were you when ever started? You weren't even born then.
Probably not,
right?
No.
No.
I've been to Dublin. I can say that.
That's today's cool
That's ever.
story here on Dublin Football Today. Thank you.
Have you been to Dublin?
I have been to Dublin.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will talk with Greg Hardcastle, the head coach of those Dublin Lions, coming here at the back half of the show, and then we'll start with Monday morning Fallout, where we overreact to the football weekend. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Rob Hadaway, Aaron Arbuckle, Robert Legow, and Ryan Smiga. Welcome in, fellas.
Welcome in, my friends. A lot to get to, no time to waste. Pickle! Hit the air raid siren. It's time for Monday morning Fallout. Monday morning Fallout, of course, when we overreact to the football weekend. And what a week to overreact to. Because I do think it would be overreaction if we were to go too far.
Yes, I would agree.
Let's start with my three big thoughts. Thought number one.
Which kind of hits this point.
Chalkier. The wildest chalkier. Chalkier.
Oh.
But only just. So, I think this time last week, when we were doing Monday Morning Fallout, we were marveling at the wreckage of the bi-district round.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Just going crazy. Oh, my gosh, can you believe this happened? Can you believe that happened? This, that, and the other. Oh, my gosh, amazing. This week, I would say more or less held to form. Now, and here's a perfect example of what I mean, okay? On the picks video, my high school football predictions for every Texas high school football game, I went a grand total. Did you see this? Did you hear about this, Kev?
I did not. I saw Steps total. I didn't look at yours.
I went 152-23. Now, we should say there's one more game that's still being played today because of the tragedy out in Andrews. Andrews and Springtown?
Yes.
Andrews and Springtown are playing today at 2 o'clock. So there's one more game in the area round that we have to get to. But of the 175 games that have been played, I went 152-23. Okay? That's not me bragging. That much.
I think that it is.
Not only me bragging. But what it is because I think when people look at the picks, I think they will also say that generally speaking, I only put myself out on a limb a couple of times. Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I usually go pretty chalky. And so whenever there, and this is going to sound really self-important, but like whenever the picks video ends up being like a 500 proposition, that means there was a lot of chaos because there were a lot of upsets. Because generally speaking, I play it by the book. I play it pretty safe on my picks. Okay, that's just what I'm saying. So this week it was pretty chalky. Now that said, that's not to say that there weren't some pretty big stunners out there.
Yeah, it was chalky as in like there were upsets, but it wasn't like we expect a certain amount of upsets. You know, you expect a certain percentage.
Okay. So here's an example of the upsets that did happen. I think the one that kind of caught everybody by surprise was Frisco Wakeland's win over Highland Park.
Yes.
Okay. I think it's Highland Park's one of those teams where it's news anytime they lose, right? Because they don't lose very often.
Right.
But Frisco Wakeland, I think people are a little bit shocked that I don't think it's that big of an upset. Wakeland's a good team. Wakeland coming into the playoffs had 2 losses on the year. Their losses were to Frisco Lone Star and to Denton Ryan. Pretty good, right? They went out there and absolutely they took the fight to Highland Park. They were winning for large portions of this game, but down the stretch they come up with a touchdown with under 30 seconds left and then go for 2 and get it. to win 29-28.
Which, by the way, just going to throw this out there. We talk about this a lot. Love the call there.
Oh.
Love the call to go for 2. You don't want to go into overtime with a tenured program like that.
And when we talked with Marty Secord, the head coach at Wakeland and Scoreboard, we were able to scramble and get him on, and he said, "I don't want to." He said, "I think I don't know if this is a direct quote, but it was something very similar to, I don't want to go to overtime with Highland Park."
No, absolutely not.
100% agree, Coach. If you got an opportunity to win it, you do it. The other upsets, I think, across the state. This was a Saturday game, but Tidehaven over Odom, I think, was a bit of an upset. Odom was undefeated, and Tidehaven went and got the big win. I'm sorry, Pickle. San Diego over Llano. Give credit to Bo Ochoa's Vaqueros. They're cruising right now, feeling very good about themselves. They take out the defending regional champion.
Llano shot themselves.
By take
so bad.
Give some flour. Give
yeah,
San Diego
no. I mean, they capitalized on the opportunities that were given.
How about Louisville over Arlington Martin?
Yeah, that was.
It's a bit of a stunner because I think that like Louisville's one of those teams that they have they're really good at one side of the ball offensively, and you're thinking, okay, well, they're going to run into a team that's like a lot more like maybe complete, like in Martin.
Well, and they were a team too that we were really high on to start the year, and then they hit that lull, and we're going, okay, was that just a front? But now it's like, okay, well, they're playing their best ball late in the season, which is what you want. If you go through a lull in the second half of the season, then whatever.
I will also just say, because I'm so rarely right, go run back the tape on like the preseason editions of Tep and Step, and I was telling y'all, I was like, guys, Louisville's gonna be fun. Louisville's gonna roll.
Now they've got South Lake coming up, so that's another.
Who knows?
That's an upset potential.
And then there was Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg took down Corpus Christi Cal Allen, and probably what was the biggest upset of the week.
Yep.
And Cal Allen, it felt like Cal Allen never got into gear this year. And you give a lot of credit to Fredericksburg. They were able to slow down that rushing attack and come up with big-time plays of themselves. The Bethlehem Billies are through to the regional semifinals.
And taking on the fighting Will Wilkersons.
Taking on Pleasanton.
Which is another kind of shocker.
Well, yeah, Pleasanton in the third round. So, anyway, it was chalkier compared to the regional, to the by-district round, the area round was. But certainly not exactly the
fireworks factory
that we come that if you thought that the first round was going to be like that, it was going to be like that the whole time. Obviously,
to say also College Station taking it to Lone Star. Whoop, sorry.
We'll get to them. Thought number 2: trust the process. So the big game this week in college football was UTSA and UAB.
Yes.
UTSA and UAB, and UTSA, if you didn't hear, scored a touchdown in the final moments.
Like literally as the clock expired.
as time expired, to win. What was the final score? 28-24. Is that right?
Yes, and they hit the big guy.
Yes. So it was. I'm sorry, 31-34 was the final, and it was Frank Harris on third down with literally 7 seconds left. He found. Was it Oscar Cardenas for a game-winning 1-yard touchdown pass. After he dropped the snap, threw it, it got tipped. Cardenas caught it in the end zone. It's a marvelous play. If you haven't seen it, it's unbelievable. But
the Alamo Dome was rocking.
The Alamo Dome was going absolutely berserker, as it should have been. And it's such a great moment for that program. It's the biggest moment in UTSA football history. And it struck me in a lot of ways, after thinking about it, how that play is so emblematic and so indicative of the process that UTSA is trying to install here. Because you had Frank Harris, quarterback from Schertz Clements, from the San Antonio area, throwing the biggest pass in UTSA history to Oscar Cardenas. Do you know where Oscar Cardenas went? San Antonio Brandeis. Okay? San Antonio to San Antonio with 2-1-0 on their helmet.
The helmets were sick.
For the biggest moment in UTSA history. You hear about trusting the process. The process worked. The process has them on the precipice of an undefeated regular season.
They're hosting the conference
championship game. And they have decided all these places. SMU does the same thing. We want to draw a circle around DFW. We just want to recruit around here. UTSA's doing it, and it's working, and it's got them at the top of the UTSA, top of the Conference USA world right now. So UTSA, trust the process. And thought number 3, a Thanksgiving feast. Pickle.
Yeah.
Pickle. It's the best week of the year.
Yes.
Best week of the year is Thanksgiving week. And I know I say this every year. Like, it struck me. This happened at 12:15 on Friday night, Saturday morning. I was on Scoreboard. I'm sitting there, and I'm like looking at some of the games that are coming in. And Step's starting to tweet out pairings and stuff. He goes, "Hey, it's going to be Manville versus Fort Penn Hightower. Hey, Denton Ryan takes on Longview. Stephenville takes on Argyle. They're going to play, at Mansfield or whatever." And like every time I tweet, I just found myself going like, "Dang, that's a really good game. Man, that's a really good game. Wow, that's a really good game." And I had to remind myself, like, yeah,
hey, dummy,
idiot. Of course they're good games.
It's the regional semifinal round.
There's only 16 teams left in every bracket. There's 8 teams left in every six-man bracket.
Yeah.
Like, of course they're great games. What are you thinking? But it is a massive week. And by the way, I'll just throw this out there. I don't know what your family situation's like, and I don't need to know. Don't leave it in the comments. I don't care. But if you've got family in town and you're looking for something to do, I bet there's a high school football game near you on Friday. And the great thing about this week is because everyone's off this week.
On Thursday, yeah.
Everyone's off, and everyone's off on Friday.
Well, no, there is one game on Thursday.
There is one game on Thursday. Thank you, West Rusk and Dangerfield for having the courage to play on Thursday. But the bunch of games Friday, and it's not just 7 o'clock kicks.
They start at noon.
A lot of noons, a lot of 2s, a lot of
all
5s.
The way to 7:30.
All the way through. So if you are looking to get your family out of the house, do something with the family, cheap entertainment, you can do that, or you can watch Texan Live. We'll have a bunch of games there.
We will have a ton of really, really good games on Texan Live this week.
So there you go. It's a Thanksgiving feast this week. 3 helmet stickers. A helmet sticker for Melissa running back Ashton Mitchell-Johnson. Now, Melissa was on the ropes. Melissa was taking on Midlothian Heritage, and they needed every bit of a comeback. But Ashton Mitchell-Johnson went nuts. 26 carries, 134 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the ground to pace Melissa's comeback win over Midlothian Heritage. A helmet sticker to UTEP wide receiver Jacob Cowing. Now Rice had them. This game was, I believe it was 21-14 at half, or they were down 21-14 at half. And it looked like it was going one-way traffic. But instead, UTEP storms back. Jacob Cowing catches 11 passes for 170 yards and a touchdown. Make him a Bolitnikoff Award finalist, you cowards. And finally, a helmet sticker to El Campo running back Ruben Owens. We were here for the DCTF watch along.
We were.
And that was the first time I'd ever watched a full El Campo game.
Welcome.
I'd seen a lot of highlights and stuff like that, but how it's gonna be deceiving.
No, it's like that for 4 quarters. 4 full quarters.
It's
every game.
It's nuts what he does. He's an incredible player. The numbers are impressive. 36 carries, 321 yards, 4 touchdowns rushing. He had a big 38-yard reception early in the game too. He's just a freak show out there. El Campo running back Ruben Owens, a helmet sticker for him. 3 teams to watch. Let's talk about College Station. You were there.
I was.
Step was there.
He was.
I don't want to go too far, but I'm comfortable saying that is one of the most impressive victories for a Texas high school football team this season.
The first play of the game, College Station deferred, and they were on defense. And, I mean, they just blew past to get to Garrett Rangel. And I said, oh, okay, is it going to be like this all game? And it was.
College Station thumped Frisco Lone Star. Thumped them. And by the way, look, Denton Ryan's going to have their hands full this week against Longview, and College Station's got to get past a very confident Wakeland bunch this week. Let's put it that way. But let's just say that College Station and Ryan were to meet. We now have 2 common opponents. I don't know if you know that. We have 2 common opponents. College Station has played both Magnolia West and Frisco Lone Star.
Beat both of them. Magnolia West was a way more competitive game than it was against Lone Star.
Yes. Ryan beat Magnolia West by 8 and Lone Star by 1. College Station beat Magnolia West by 21 and Lone Star by 34. College Station right now has to be the favorite in 5A Division I.
Yes.
I don't think that's really a hot take.
No.
What they did on Friday night was wildly impressive.
And there were a lot of people there that have seen those other teams, and I won't say like specifically which ones, but we were kind of going through the list, and anyone that had seen another team said there's no way they can compete with College State. If they played like they did the other night, there's no way any of those teams could compete with them if they played to that caliber.
Baylor. So Baylor gets a win over Oklahoma State. It's an important win for them, or Kansas State rather. Gary Bohannon does go down in this game. I don't know what his status is, but he came back and he did not look good. They bring in Blake Shapen. He was fine. He's kind of a nice caretaker of the offense. So Baylor, keep an eye on them because Baylor, the thing is, they do get Tech this week. Now they're going to be favored over Tech. But more importantly, they will be watching Bedlam very carefully.
Yes.
Because Oklahoma and Oklahoma State play. If Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State, then it's going to be a rematch the next week. It'll be Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State
Part 2
in the Big 12 Championship, and they'll play back-to-back weeks. If Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma, then Baylor goes to the Big 12 Championship game for a rematch with Oklahoma State.
Yes.
So keep an eye on
that. So
that.
everyone's got their go Pokes.
Everyone's got their orange pom-poms.
Yeah.
And Schulenburg, one of the very few 4 seeds that are left. Remember, Schulenburg knocked off Mason in the first round of the playoffs. They get another win. They have now improved to 6-6 on the year. Keep an eye on Schulenburg, although this week they do get Shiner. But big doings for the Shorthorns. Finally, 3 to C. Brock versus Jim Ned, Volume 2.
I think a 2 p.m. kick.
2 p.m. kick in Brownwood. Electric Boogaloo. 2 teams that have been number 1 and number 2 in 3A Division 1 all year long. Brock is itching for some revenge. Jim Ned has looked every bit the part of the number 1 team in the state.
Yep.
It'll be a lot of fun out there in Brownwood. SFA and Incarnate Word.
Let's go.
The FCS playoff bracket came out.
It did.
And now, if you want to talk about drama, Incarnate Word, representing the Southland, taking on Stephen F. Austin, who left the Southland to go to the WAC. And by the way, if Incarnate Word wins, you know who they get? Sam.
Not who you want to be facing up against.
But another team that left the Southland.
Yep.
Drama there, but it'll be a lot of fun. Stephen F. Austin and Incarnate Word. And finally, speaking of drama, Euless Trinity and Allen, Volume 2.
Yeah, you got to think revenge is coming for that one.
This was, of course, the Ollie Gordon game last year, where Ollie Gordon ran for 400+ and almost single-handedly eliminated Allen. This game is at Allen Eagle Stadium. And so that'll add a little bit of intrigue, but I do think that game's going to
Which is wild because when Allen got knocked out the year before last, it was basically Jackson Smith and the Jigba single-handedly doing it. So it's like someone just decides to pop off every year.
Be a lot of fun. Those are 3 to see. That's Monday Morning Fallout. We're at Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at TCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Pickle. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in partnership with Ozarka, is proud to honor one team from each classification with the Ozarka Fueled by Nature Team of the Week Award. The teams selected throughout the course of this program have exemplified the best in Texas high school football. Your Week 13,
correct,
second round of the playoffs. Ozarka Fueled by Nature Teams of the Week. In 6A, Laredo United South. The Panthers got a big game from sophomore quarterback Luis Cisneros, and the defense shut down a tough Harlingen attack to bring home a 24-7 victory, advancing to the third round of the playoffs for just the second time in program history. In 5A, Frisco Wakeland. In one of the stunners of the playoffs, Jared White found Tripp Reardon for a touchdown pass with 27 seconds remaining, and White ran for the go-ahead 2-point conversion to take down perennial power Highland Park 29-28. In 4A, Texarkana Pleasant Grove. The young Hawks were not fazed by the bright playoff lights, stopping Glen Rose's would-be game-tying 2-point conversion in double overtime to seal a 36-34 victory and move on to the regional semifinals. In 3A, Riesel. Rallying from an early deficit, the Indians got a go-ahead touchdown run from Kyson Dietrich on the third quarter, and the defense made it stand up, beating Natalia 10-8 to go from 4th place in district to the regional semifinals. In 2A, Wortham, a 4th-place finisher in their own district, the Bulldogs are through to the third round of the playoffs for the first time since 2000 with a 38-22 win over West Sabine. In 1A, Klondike, avenging last season's second-round loss to Groom, the Cougars jumped out to an early lead and never looked back, topping the Tigers 72-58 to move to 11-1 of the year, the most wins in a season since 1995. And finally, in the private school ranks, Lubbock Trinity Christian. Fueled by a terrific defensive effort, the Lions held down previously unbeaten Arlington Grace Prep and used a second quarter surge to advance to the TAPS Division III state semifinals with a 16-7 victory. So those are your Week 13 Ozarka Fueled by Nature Teams of the Week. Congratulations to all the schools. We salute you. For more information, visit texasfootball.com. And now, a word from our friends at From Now On. From Now On is a proud sponsor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and your school's one-stop shop for community connection. Simplify your athletic communications with From Now On. Their FanX platform gives schools at all levels of the game a one-stop shop mobile experience that makes driving communication, creating engagement, and generating revenue easy. From Now On helps connect your school community with everything they need to win on game day. Schedules, streams, digital tickets, real-time notifications, and more. Learn more by visiting their website at from-now-on.com or follow them on Twitter or Instagram at FromNowOnEXP. Fast scans, happy fans. Let's go to the hotline. And let's bring in the head coach of the regional semifinalist Dublin Lions. We're joined by Coach Greg Hardcastle. Coach, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Greg?
I'm excellent. How are things in beautiful Dublin, Texas?
Oh, beautiful weather today. Great workout this morning, and really excited about the opportunity we have this week.
Practicing on Thanksgiving week. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And the reason you guys are practicing Thanksgiving week is because of your 41-35 win over Palmer last week to advance to the the third round of the playoffs for the first time in program history. I want to get into the you taking over the program and all that fun stuff. But first and foremost, what is it about this team that has them rolling right now to places that Dublin has never been before?
Well, these kids, they just keep fighting. They never give up. We've had some times where we've been down, but they fight back. We still came up short a couple of times, but they really don't give in. A year ago we were 1-8, and a lot of these guys were injured or sick and things like that, and they've really come back and been strong leaders for us this year, and I think just had that determination that we're gonna show people what we're really about.
Well, and, you mentioned that this was a program that was 1-8 last year. I think it's important to note that was not necessarily indicative of the recent history of the program. That was an outlier. The previous years before that, you guys had been 8-3. With Coach Bob Servetto, the legendary coach there at Dublin. You take over for them, take over the Dublin program, where it's not. I think it's safe to say there wasn't anything wrong with the program. The program was doing pretty good things under Coach Servetto. So how do you, as the offensive coordinator, getting promoted to the big chair, how do you go about putting your stamp on the program while still keeping what are really the good bones of the program together? How did you go about, putting your stamp on it?
Well, just like I said, it was encouraging the kids and building on what we had done in the past. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we were 8-3 2 years in a row there, and then had a little dip last year. Like I say, due to some injuries and stuff, and a lot of these guys that were big big time players this year were out last year, and so with the injuries, whatever. But just coming in and really just trying to keep the program rolling. I'm not the big I guess the big motivational guy that Coach Servetto was, but I just try to say talk to kids about we got to be steady and we got to do what we do, and do our job every down, every snap, and just play as hard as we can.
Talking with Greg Hardcastle, the head coach of the Dublin Lions here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, one thing of note here is that each of your last 7 games have been one-score games. Have you considered not doing that? Have you considered maybe going out there and blowing a team out?
Yes. And that's one of the things that we've talked about as a coaching staff is, we like to keep it interesting. Last week we got up we were up 3 scores on Palmer, and of course, to their credit, they came back and got after us the second half. But in the end, We made some plays when we had to. They would draw within one score, and we scored to go ahead 2 scores again, and then we're able to hold them off there at the end. But just yeah, it'd be nice to have one of those type of games, but I think that has really shown the I guess the mettle of this team, that they're going to continue to fight and scrap and play hard, and really, and that's one of the things that we've talked about in the playoffs. As we've dealt with these close games, is that we're prepared for that because of our district schedule. In our district, every game in the district, it seemed like, was decided by 1 score or less. Not just our games, but everybody throughout the whole district schedule. And so, it was a tough district to get out of. And nobody went undefeated. So we feel like that prepared us for the playoffs very well.
Another guy who has really stepped up for you guys all year long, I think one of the most underappreciated players in the state is your QB1, Chris Teton, who is unbelievable. He's thrown for those who don't know, he's thrown for 3,700 yards and 39 touchdowns on the season. Look, the numbers, Coach, are outrageous, but you're the guy who sees him every day in practice. What is it about Chris Teton that really sets him apart?
Well, he's really matured since last year. He was kind of thrust in there as a sophomore last year, and whether he was ready for it or not. And had some struggles last year, but yet as a freshman he was able to kind of learn under Kai Wing, our previous guy, and so he took some lessons from Kai, but Chris is his own guy too. So but he's done a really great job of distributing the ball to our receivers. We're very balanced, as far as who, we don't just have one receiver that stands out. We've got different guys that we can get the ball to, and they can all make plays. And he's done a great job of doing that, and going through his progressions and getting it to the open guy.
You mentioned you guys had a great practice this morning. I'm interested in what the vibe around the program is like right now. You guys are making some history. You guys are into the 3rd round for the first time in program history. Is there a little extra pep in the step there at practice, even though it's Thanksgiving week, we got all these things, but is there a little extra energy out there right now?
Oh yes, the guys are really fired up to have this opportunity. And Gunner's a great team, but we're gonna do our best to give them all we got, and just see where everything falls.
You mentioned it. We're talking with Greg Hardcastle, the head coach of the Dublin Lions here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, you mentioned it. It's on to the next one. Next one is 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. They're at Pennington Field in Bedford, Texas, as you will draw the number 2 team in the state, the Gunner Tigers. I know you're deep into film on them. I don't want to ask you to give away your game plan here on the internet, but when you take a look at what you're up against on Friday, what's it going to take for you guys to come away with a win?
We're just going to have to do what we do. We've got to execute, and we've got to play hard for 4 quarters. They're a talented team, but we got some talented guys too. And that's what I told the kids this morning. We got talented guys. Let's go give them all we got, and give it our best shot, and see where everything ends up. Like I say, we've never been to this point. They have. They're experienced in this, but. Like I say, we've played tough games the last, 7 weeks. And so I think that helps us.
He's Greg Hardcastle. He's the head coach of the regional semifinalist Dublin Lions. Coach, congratulations on your fantastic season so far. We're so looking forward to seeing what you guys do Friday, and go get them.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
There he goes, Greg Hardcastle, head coach of the Dublin Lions. Coach named Greg? Immediately trustworthy. Immediately a guy that we like.
The amount of Gregs on this show has got to decrease.
A lot of Gregs.
Coach Hardcastle can stay. You have to leave.
Hey, Pickle, I have a question.
Yeah.
Who scored all the Cowboys' points yesterday?
Greg the Leg.
Darn right he did. Big week for Gregs. Big week for Gregs. It's my favorite week. We have Greg Hardcastle. They're cruising, right? Greg the Leg's doing big things.
Yeah, what are you doing? That's the question.
Well, it's an internet show. Anyway. Excited to see what they do. They're going to be. I think anybody would look at this and say, you know what, Gunner's going to be a favorite in that game. I think that's fair to say. But at the same time, this is a Dublin team that's brimming with confidence, and that is a dangerous team to play.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Chris Teton, that kid can sling it. Okay.
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks have 3,800 passing yards this season? Right. Not
That's
many.
nuts.
They ask a lot of him, but he comes up with big plays.
That's one of those things, too. There's almost nothing more dangerous than an underdog team in the playoffs that's just got the confidence
Exactly
about them.
right.
Because someone else, like maybe a Highland Park Wakeland situation, you know, like the team that everyone thinks is going to win gets caught sleeping, and then there comes the confidence.
Yes, exactly right. So we appreciate Greg Hardcastle of Dublin hopping on with us. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Pickle. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in conjunction with the Texas Bowl, is proud to present the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week award to the most deserving high schooler in the state of Texas. Each Monday, TexasFootball.com announces 10 candidates for that week's award based on the previous week's on-field performance. We then leave it up to you. Voting is open at TexasFootball.com right now. Your voting closes each Friday at noon, with the winner being announced shortly thereafter. We will not have a show on Friday, so we will need to make sure that we'll announce on social media. But
We won't have a show Thursday or Friday, just
right,
throwing that
Thursday
out
or
there.
Friday. But we will announce it on social media and stuff, and
Yes.
then we'll circle back Monday and let you guys know who won. Your Week 13,
Yes.
Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week nominees. Lorena wide receiver and punter Jaden Porter. 5 catches, 139 yards, and 2 touchdowns receiving, 61 yards and a touchdown rushing, and he averaged 52 yards per punt. Pretty good.
Goodness.
Gregory Portland quarterback Brandon Redden. He went 21 of 24 for 373 yards and 6 touchdowns passing. And Gregory Portland's win over Montgomery. Previously not beaten Montgomery.
My regional pick.
Wichita Falls Hershey wide receiver Jaleel Minifield. 3 catches, 187 yards, 3 touchdowns receiving, 3 carries, 60 yards, touchdown rushing. So let's just sum this up. He touched
did
the ball
everything.
6 times, and he scored 4 times.
Goodness. Again, not a math major.
Congratulations.
Ratio seems good.
Congratulations on the 2 tackles. They tackled him twice. College Station running back Marquise Collins. Will you vouch for this one?
Oh, boy, he turned on the Jets.
33 carries, 308 yards, 6 touchdowns rushing against Frisco Lone Star.
Wild.
Gladewater athlete DJ Allen.
Somewhere Ishmael Johnson is yelling.
Matt Stepp called this, and he said they're going to unleash DJ Allen, and boy, they unleash him. 106 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing, 3 catches, 130 yards, a touchdown receiving. He threw for 12 yards, and he had 4 tackles. Whitesboro running back, defensive back Torin Nagelstad. 5 catches, 88 yards, touchdown receiving, 11 tackles, 3 interceptions, and he took one of those interceptions back for a touchdown. Have yourself a day. Jim Ned running back and defensive back Xavier Wisher. 35 carries, 327 yards, and 5 touchdowns rushing, and another 8 tackles.
He does it every week.
If you guys would just vote him Player of the Week, we'll quit nominating.
Yeah.
Houston CE King running back Jarrell Wimbley, speaking of every week.
Yeah.
29 carries, 312 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Wink quarterback and linebacker Cannon Gibson. Wink over Clarington was a big upset.
Yeah, it was.
Not necessarily an upset, but the way they did it. 182 yards, 5 touchdowns passing, 169 yards, touchdown rushing, 18 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble. And finally, Edinburgh Valor running back P.J. Rivera. 41 carries, 382 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground for the SaberCats. So those are your Week 13 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week nominees. Vote now. Vote early, vote often, vote now on TexasFootball.com. All right, Pickle. It's time to do one more thing today. And that is, it's time to unveil the cover of the 2021 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising magazine, our recruiting edition. The cover reveal is presented by our friends at Reveal Suits.
Which is so fitting.
Fitting.
Cover, reveal. Oh, my gosh, the puns just
Fitting.
keep
It's all
coming.
good. It's RevealSuits.com. It's our friends at Reveal Suits, RevealSuits.com. If you don't know what Reveal Suits is, do we have the little
We
graphic
sure
up?
do.
Reveal Suits does custom-made suits with custom-made linings. So, for example, they were nice enough to hook me up with a Dave Campbell suit.
It's so cool.
Look at that thing.
That is so
It's
cool.
incredible. It's RevealSuits.com.
You wore it on Friday, right?
I wore it on Friday.
On Scoreboard?
On
Football Friday?
And Scoreboard. The fine folks at Reveal Suits. It's RevealSuits.com. Thank you for sponsoring this year's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising cover reveal. So go to revealsuits.com and check out what they got going, because it is very cool. If they've got a ton of licenses for colleges. So if you went to, for example, if you're a Texas fan, if you're a University of Texas fan, you can get a burnt orange like blazer with the
horns inside of it.
Right, they've got
so cool.
They've got a ton.
That's such
of
a
those
flex.
They've got a ton of things over there. And so make sure they've got a whole list of their licensed colleges on Texas there. So I know they've got Texas. I know they've got Abilene Christian. I'm just scrolling through. And
how many times on Friday did you go?
They've got Tech. They've got Texas State.
Hey,
they've got Texas Southern, TCU, all of those things. So Texas. So it's revealsuits.com. Go check them out. They're presenting this year's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising cover reveal. You remember last year who was on the cover? Pickle.
Yes.
Jatavian Sanders.
That is true.
Jatavian Sanders. This year, we're very excited to reveal the cover of the 2021-22 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising magazine.
And boom!
Bang! Featuring 5-star defensive back Denver Harris from Galena Park, North Shore. The headline, lock it down. It's the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising 2021-2022 recruiting guide. It's got expert breakdown of more than 400 recruits across state. Class 2022, 23, 24. Stinking 25
we're getting old.
Freshmen.
We're getting old.
We got the top 25 freshmen in there, courtesy of our buddy Greg Powers and Next Level Athlete, working very hard on that. I want to say that we want to thank Coach John Kay, the coach at Galena Park North Shore, and of course Denver for his time. We had an awesome time there at the photo shoot. We were able to hire Juan De Leon, who is an outstanding photographer.
Yeah, he
down
crushed
there.
it.
And the photos, he said, we had
a literal plethora
We had
of photos.
so many great photos to choose from. We were really excited about this one, featuring 5-star.
It was hard to
defensive
choose.
back, Denver Harris. They're all good. 5-star defensive back Denver Harris, who is our the cover boy of the 2021 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising, our recruiting guide. If you are a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider, it will be mailed to you directly off the presses. It's being printed right now, I should tell you, so it's not out anywhere yet, but then it'll start hitting shelves in early to mid-December if you want to go pick one up there. But it breaks down more than 400 prospects around the state. We're very excited. We appreciate our friends at Reveal Suits for sponsoring the cover reveal of the 2021-2022 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising magazine, featuring 5-star defensive back Denver Harris from Galena Park North Shore. Appreciate everybody for making this happen. And now let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts?
Let's go with one. I guess we'll do a programming note here of, again, as you know, it is Thanksgiving week, so we will do a show Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we are off Thursday and Friday.
Yes. Wednesday will be our annual Thanksgiving Spectacular. You don't got to worry about that.
Yeah, we got it.
Pickle be crafting.
I was crafty this week, and I'm excited for people to see it. And the other thing was, a question was asked, what would you call a group of Gregs? Like, you know how some animals, like you call if they're a pack, you call them something different?
This is easy. Yeah, it's a murder of Gregs.
Okay.
It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Greg Hardcastle of Dublin for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.